Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my design team project for this week for Not Too Shabby. I'm going to put the link below for the shop, and also if you head over you can use my coupon code CraftyGirl to save 10% on your order. So I'm going to start out by showing you guys these little Valentines that I made for my nieces, and I am so excited with how they turned out. The new Lawn Fawn die is so awesome, and I just cannot get enough of this little koala set that I used. So I'm going to show you guys all of them up close. I have made them personalized for each of my little nieces. So I'll show you first. This one is for my niece Olivia, and I think they will just love that their little names are on there. And then I'm just showing you the back there, and look how cute it is. And this just fits in there so stinking cute. And they are just going to be really excited, I think, when they see these little Valentines that I made. So then I have one for my niece Emma. And the paper that I used is just from Doodlebug. And then that one is for my niece Violet. And so I'm going to hold these up. I made each one different so you can see all the different cuts that this Lawn Fawn die does. So she is just got this little XOXO. And then I have on the back there another colored piece of paper so that I can put a little message to each of them. This one says, "Be mine," and I have the little hand so that it looks like it's holding the little sentiment. And then this one says, "Love," and it also is perfect. It looks like it's holding that sentiment as well. So I'm just going to set these aside, and I'll show you the products I used, and then I'll get right into a process video for you guys of how I made them. So first up, this is my DT stamp for this month for Not Too Shabby. This is You're Qualified, and I just used those three little koalas there. They are so cute and furry looking. I also used this Lawn Fawn set, and this one is Occupy My Heart, and I just used it for that little heart there and also for the bows that I put on those little koala bears. And that one got pigtails, and then she also got pigtails on that one. Then I used this Lawn Fawn Clark's ABCs stamp set, and I just used that to personalize each of the little envelopes. And I love this set because it has more than one of each letter, so it was really quick and easy to do. I also used this Spectrum Noir glitter marker, and it works awesome. I love it so much, and I'm just showing you there how I used it on the hearts and also on the little bows there. I used the new Lawn Fawn ink. This is the Jet Black Lawn Fawn ink that just came out, and it is awesome. A few of you asked how I liked it, and I love it. I used it to stamp out all of my images, and they are really crisp and black, and I just love this ink. I will definitely be using that from now on. This is the Lawn Fawn Plastic Flamingo pink ink, and I use that for the names on the envelopes. And then this die is amazing. I love it so much, and it is like the best value. It is got this big heart, and it cuts out the envelope, and then it comes with a whole bunch of extras. It comes with this little scallop, and so that cuts out the little piece that goes on here. I also cut out the little heart that goes there and on the back in glitter paper, and it has really nice stitching on it. I cut out another one of these cards to go inside, and then I cut out the Be Mine sentiment, and I did trim it apart so you can use it together or apart. I cut out the XOXO from this and also the love, and there's also an arrow on it. I didn't use that, but the arrow does come with it as well. So I'm so excited to get into the process video and show you guys how I made these. So here we go. So first up, I'm going to stamp out this cute little koalas using this new ink. And this one just looks so cute, like she wants a hug and her arms are stretched out. And then you've got that little cutie. And I love how that little guy looks like he's waving, and they just look so furry and cuddly. Now I'm taking that Lawn Fawn set, and I'm just going to add 3 little hearts. And then I also stamp out some bows because I love adding little bows on my critters, and these are going to be for my nieces, so I thought they would like having the little bows on the little koala bears. So I'm using C8 and C4 for the nose. And these are my Copic markers that I'm using today. And I go back in with the C8 and the C4. And then I just use my white jelly pen to add a little bit of accent on the nose. And then I'm using RV21 and RV20 for the little ears. and also for inside that little koala's mouth. Then I'm going in with C4 onto all of the koalas for the dark part of the shading on their bodies. And then C2. And C0. And then I'm going back in with the C4 again. And I give a little bit of a wisp at the top so it looks like they have like little fuzzy hair. I thought that looked cute. And little Diego is sitting beside me again today as I am doing my voiceover, and he is snoring away. So as always, if you hear little snoring, that's Diego just having a good little nap. Now I'm going in with the C2 and I'm just blending that out a little bit. And I think these would be really cute colored up with warm grays as well. I chose to use the cool grays, but I'm going to probably do warm grays next time so that you guys can see how that looks colored up. And then I'm going in with C0 and just blending that all out. And then I'm going in with C2 on this one. And these were so easy to color up and they looked so cute for these little Valentines. So if you have a whole bunch of Valentines that you have to make, this is a perfect image because it's really quick and simple to color up. And then I'm just adding some R20 to their little cheeks. And then I'm going to just go over it with the C0 so it just smooths it out a little bit. And then I'm adding a little bit of those flicks at the top. I just thought that looked really cute. And I added a few on the ears as well. It just adds a little something. Then taking my black jelly pen, I'm just adding that on the eyes. And then I take my white jelly pen and add 3 little dots on the cheeks. I love doing that. They just look so cute. Now I'm going to do the bows. So I use R39 and R27 for the bow and for the heart. And I tried to color up each one in a different color so that you guys could see lots of examples of Copic colors. So this one's RV04, and then I went in with RV06 and RV02. And that's probably my favorite pink combo. And then using RV25, it's more of a like red pink, and then RV21. So there are my cute little images, and now I'm going to just fussy cut these out. I'm not 100% sure if there is dies for this set yet, but if there are, I will link it below. And I know that Gerda Steiner didn't used to sell dies with her stamps, but I believe she is starting to come out with dies for her stamps, and Jamie has been getting those in as they come out. So if there isn't a die for this set yet, there probably will be soon. And then I'm just trimming out those little hearts. And then the bows as well. So there's tons of different ways you can stick that bow on. You could have it like pigtails on the side of its ear, on the top. You could add 1 or 2. They just look so cute. And then she got one there, and I just want to squish them. They're so sweet. This is like the cutest stamp set. And then I'm just cutting out these last few little bows here. And I wanted to show you that you could make a little boy one and put a bow tie. I have all nieces that I'm going to be giving these to, so I used it as pigtails, but you could use it as a bow. Now I get into the die cutting, and I just quickly showed here that this die is too big for a 6x6 paper, so you do need to use a 12x12 and just cut it in half so you have a 6x12 sheet. It's just a tiny bit bigger than the 6x6, but that's fine. It'll get me using some of my bigger pages. So it cuts it out and it has the creases on it so you can make it into the envelope. And I just think this is like the cutest thing ever that it is in a heart shape. So I'm cutting out 3 of these on different patterned papers. And these are just Doodlebug papers that I'm using. Now I'm going to cut out 3 of these little scalloped cards. I'm going to use this as the backing so that the front part of my little note card is white and then the back part is pink, so I can put a little cute message on it. And now I'm just using some pink glitter paper and I'm going to cut out those little hearts. I'm going to cut out 6 of the little hearts so that I can put 1 on each of the front of the little envelopes under each of my niece's names, and then I'm also going to cut out 1 for the closure part of the envelope. And now using that same glitter paper, I'm going to cut out 1 of each of the little sentiments that come on that little die. So you get a love, be mine, and an XOXO. And so I'm going to hold up each of them so you can see. There is the love, and it is really thin. It's thinner than the other Lawn Fawn scripty sayings. They're very delicate and very pretty. So if you already had the XO or the love in the other scripty sayings by Lawn Fawn, this one is different. It's a little bit more thinner and it's more delicate looking, so it won't be a double. And now using the white cardstock, I'm going to cut out these little note cards here, and I'm showing you again those on the white paper so you can see it a little bit more easily. And so I'm cutting out 6 of these so that I have 1 for each of the envelopes, and then also 1 is going to be a note card that goes inside the envelope. And then that is it for our die cutting. So now I'm going to have everything out on the table here, and I'm going to start by stamping out the names of each of my nieces. And I had a few different Lawn Fawn sets, but they each only had single letters. So as I went to stamp it out, I realized that I was going to have to stamp each letter once, and the first name I was going to do is my niece Emma, and so I needed 2 M's, so I actually ended up using the Clark's ABCs stamp set. And it's quite old. It's from one of their very first releases of alphas, I believe. So I've had that in my stash and got a lot of use out of it. So I am stamping out using that pink flamingo ink, and I am just stamping out Emma, and it looks so cute. And I just know that my nieces are going to be really excited that their names are on these envelopes in pink ink. And now I'm going to stamp out my next niece's name, which is going to be Violet. I actually have 4 nieces and 1 nephew, but my nephew and my other niece are just babies, so I'm not going to make them a Valentine card. I'm just going to make it for the 3 that are a little bit older who will understand what Valentine's is. So I also am stamping then out my other niece, which is Olivia, and there are the 3 little cards, and now I'm just adhering on those little pink glittery hearts. And now I'm going to take these little pink cards and adhere it to the back of the white card so that the front is going to be white and the back will have the pink on it. And that way, when I write my message, I can write my message to each of them on the pink part. And now I am going to start folding these little envelopes. So you basically, there's creased lines on there, and so you just have to fold all the creases. And then you put those 2 pieces in, fold down the middle, and there you go. So I'm actually just taking my little bone folder and just creasing it down, but you don't have to have one of those to use the die, but it does just help make it a little bit more, I guess, just helps it stay closed a little bit better. So again, I'm just taking the bone folder and I am going to put on the little heart there, but just with a little adhesive at the top so that you guys can see what it will look like, and I'll add more adhesive later. And then I just add adhesive to that middle, and there is my envelope. And now I'm going to adhere that little part on the front that says Violet. And I'm going to put the other heart on that one. And then I'm adhering the front for Emma. And I love how these Doodlebug papers are double-sided, so you'll still see the inside of that envelope when you open it up, and it just looks so cute. So I'm putting on the last heart, adhering that closed, and putting this on the front. And you wouldn't have to add anything on the front. It'd be cute without it, but I really just wanted to make it personalized for my nieces. Now the fun part, I'm going to add on these cute little koala bears, and I give them their bow and I put the little sentiments there. And I'm just adding on the bows to this little one, and I'm using my ATG gun for the adhesive. Now I'm just adhering that on. And I use a glue stick for the love part, and it actually rips, so be very careful. It's very delicate. This was a little glitter paper that was very thin, so that is probably why it ripped. If you were using cardstock, it'd be totally fine, but just be careful when you are putting the glue on those because they are very thin and delicate. And I actually ended up cutting off the bee and separating it from the mine, and so it just fit on there better that way. And then I'm just going to add on that little heart for the dot of the eye. And then I'm going to add on that little heart. And now I'm working on my last one, so I'm just adding a little bit of glue with my glue stick for that XOXO. And then I have one more heart to adhere. There we go. And now I end up going back in. At first I took my RV00 just to go around the edge there to add a little something extra, but I thought it was a little bit too light, so I end up getting my RV02 out, and I go around all the edges with that, and I think it just makes the inside pop, and it just makes it look like there's a cute little bit of lace on the outside. So I just do that on all of them, and they look so cute. And I just love how they each have a little tiny envelope. And now I go in with my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I'm just adding a little bit of glitter on here. And those are my little Valentines. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will link all the products that I used below. And if you do head over to Not2Shabby to make a purchase, you can use the coupon code CraftyGirl to save 10%. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.